This is the Leave Your Legacy podcast.
Welcome to the Leave Your Legacy podcast, episode 2. I am your host, Chris Norris, with my co-host, RJ Messenger, and we have our first official guest on the show. You probably will recognize his voice if you listen to the intro. We have Mr. C. Brown in the house.
Yeah, I'm here. What's up, guys?
We have, and this legitimizes our podcast for sure. We have an actual guest.
It does, and it's exciting that it can be him. I mean, we could have had, anyone in here, and to be able to get someone that's on his level for the first official guest episode is a big thing.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to learning more about C. Obviously, widely known in the Erie area and beyond. You and RJ go way back. Tell us a little bit about how you guys know each other.
Well, I recognized him from years ago, about 2007, when I was working for the city. I was a garbage man at 19. And I seen his face around, but we didn't speak. I didn't know him. He didn't know me. Then years later, I see this Iron Empire thing come out of nowhere, and he's like the face of it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I know that guy. I recognize that guy. And then realized who he was. And then we started getting closer through a mutual friend, my dude Howie, a.k.a. Three Gloves, who shoots my videos and does a lot of my photos. And he does a lot of photos for RJ as well when he's doing the modeling thing. And then RJ started reaching out. I started modeling for Iron Empire, and boom.
Yeah.
It's just a mutual respect thing.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. And I mean... sorry, something in my throat here. Just two double stacks from Wendy's and 6-piece nugget. But yeah, I think that he hit the nail on the head. Definitely through Howie, it was one of those things where I kept seeing C. Brown and more photos. And at first, it was one of those things, like he said, where I would see him, but he was always so quiet. I'm like, this guy there just hates me. He thinks I'm like some crazy racist Nazi dude because of all my tattoos, or he's just really quiet. And then we just linked, and it just it clicked right after. I think the first photo shoot we did together.
Yeah. It was just very organic. You know what I mean? Like I respect people when they're doing something big and eerie, and I think he felt that way about myself. Right. So I mean, we just, like you said, we just clicked.
Nice.
And it's been a go from there.
Awesome. Well, if anyone knows you, they know that you're not quiet. You are a very talented musician. Tell us a little bit about your background. You're obviously very well known in the music scene. For those folks who may have been living under a rock for a while, who is C. Brown?
All right. Well, C. Brown is just this guy who loves to express himself and through the arts. Started writing poetry in middle school. Been playing the piano since I was 8 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. Got into music around 2007. Took it seriously, realized that this is what I want to do. And, I was making beats and doing things like that, but I was actually, I was that quiet kid. Like, I was afraid to rap. I didn't want to rap. And I gave it a go one time in the studio, messing around with some friends. I was like, you know what? I actually enjoyed myself doing that. Maybe I should do this more. Like, I'm already writing. And then next thing I know, it's just been like a stream of shows and, just staying in the studio, being consistent, sharing the music. At the time, it was MySpace. So, so everybody was on there, and just catching a name for myself, and collaborating with some of the bigger names in Erie at that time, and getting my name out there through that. So it's been that. I'm happy to be here, still doing it.
Wow. So you've evolved with the platforms, obviously.
Yeah, definitely evolved. Nice. And
what's your MySpace link now? If anyone wants to hit it up.
What is it, like Charles Brown 814 or something like that?
Nice.
And what do I got to do to be in your top 8? What do I got to do?
Oh man, yeah.
So RJ, when did you? I mean, do you listen to his music? Are you a rap guy? I don't even know if I know that about you.
Yeah, I mean, I love all kinds of music, and a perfect example is 2 weekends ago. No, it was the same weekend.
Last weekend.
Yeah, last weekend. Yeah. Friday night, I told him, I'm like, I apologize to admit this, but I've been to a few of his shows before, but they're really late, and I'm not a late guy, so I would hang out for a couple songs here, and I'm like, all right, I got to get out of here. But I stayed, and there was just a vibe that night, and I made a post on social media about it. I saw something and felt something in that room that night. That was something, I can't explain it. I mean, there was, black, white, Puerto Rican, whoever, adults, kids, over the age of 21, obviously, it was a bar. And everyone, it just nothing in the world fucking mattered, except for listening to what he had to say and do his thing. And it was absolutely amazing. I stayed till the end. And then the next night I'm like, hey, my friend's playing this country band, Small Town Revolution, and they're playing at the Sunflower Club. why don't you come out and do this? So then next night we're at this country concert. He goes up and freestyles. They called him out. But the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
It was a great weekend.
So yeah, I mean, I'm into all kinds of music, but definitely now I feel like I'm a legitimate fan. You know, I feel like I've been like a fan before of you, but after watching an entire show, concert, whatever you would call it, yeah, I mean, I can't wait. I think you're playing again this weekend coming up, right?
Yeah, I am actually at Basement Transmissions.
Yep.
But yeah, the show was just like he said, man. It was just great energy. It was just a vibe in there that just, you know, you couldn't deny it. You couldn't deny it. And a lot of people, you know, they go home early and things like that, but like people just stayed. There were people there way before the show started, and that's rare for a hip hop show.
Yep.
So even I was like surprised by like, you know, the outcome of everything and how many people were there. And it was just man, euphoric. You know,
Wow.
And I've been riding that wave, and I've done tons of shows, but this one was just like, God, everybody's in like on the same wavelength. They're just in good spirits,
Yeah, we need more of that, right?
and that's what I represent, man.
And I've been to a few little hip hop shows here and there, out of town, in town, and there's always, you know, kind of a weird vibe. And it's no offense, I was involved in the music scene where I was fighting people every single night, getting in fist fights, whatever it is. And so like I've been to a lot of hip hop shows where it's always like, man, like those dudes over there look like they're gonna beef with these, you know. And there was none of that. I mean, it was like everyone was on the same page. There was no, you know, no negative vibes in the room. There was no drama, you know. Just everyone just got it was crazy. Wow, that's crazy.
That's awesome, man. Music has a funny way of bringing people together, doesn't it?
Does.
Yeah.
And when you're writing music, when you're writing poetry, you said it sounds like you obviously have an affinity for writing. Who are you thinking about when you're writing? Who is your like audience?
The world.
The world. Nice. You're aiming big. I like
the world.
that. Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because, you know, I'm not trying to sound like condescending or anything like that, but like you can't write music, you know, expressing feelings and emotions and everyday situations and not want the world to hear it, because we all feel. We all go through things or have been through things. So like, I don't think of like a certain audience, like, oh, I need to reach this demographic or that demographic. Like I write what I write, and whoever latches onto it. So, but primarily, you know, I am thinking of myself because it's like, this is my therapy. This is my outlet. You know, we all have that. You know, some people, you know, go to the gym. Some people take hikes or travel, like my outlet. And, you know, my therapy is music. So I'm always thinking like, okay, how can I get this out? And what's the best way I can say this, that, and the third? And then, you know, after that, it's like, okay, I got to get this to the people, because I know that I'm not the only one that feels this way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I mean, that's got to be an amazing feeling. I mean, I get to do that through my brand with some of the sayings on the shirts or some of the posts I make on social media. But I mean, to be able to create music, and I was in a band for a long time, you know, and I wrote a lot of lyrics. Mine were a little bit more negative at the time and talked about, you know, really mean, nasty, angry shit.
Right.
But it's like, you know, to be able to take what you're feeling and in the world that we live in today, and to be able to connect with people that way, like what last weekend was absolutely incredible to see. You know, people knew the words, singing along. I mean, it was insane.
Yeah,
It was
that's
insane.
really cool.
I was shocked.
I've always wondered. I'm not a musician. I've never been any.
You have to. Can you wear what you need to come to the next show?
Do you like
in
this?
that outfit?
So just for
You would fit in though. That's how the crazy thing. There was.
yeah.
I swear I saw someone there in like a suit that night. It was insane.
No judgment was passed.
Right. All right,
It was
all
like
right.
we're here having like, you know, it was like a world party. It
Yeah.
was, you know what I mean? It was
Maybe
a lot
we'll
of
put a
worlds coming
snapback
together.
on you, but
I'll get a snapback.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this whole look is just so that you and I are like Jekyll and Hyde. See,
That's
you know,
exactly
people are
it.
like,
Okay.
because you know,
Yeah.
I think it plays into how
normally I
different
wear
we
the
are.
sweaters, but he asked me not to wear them when I come in for
Yeah.
the podcast.
Okay,
Right.
a little switcheroo. I
I'm
see
the
that.
preppy one. He's like the tatted
Go ahead,
out
say
tough
it.
guy.
Go ahead.
Right. I like the duality here.
Yeah, you balance us. You balance
I'm in
us
the middle.
perfectly.
I'm in the middle.
So I've always wondered for like musicians, and you could speak to this too. Like I'm not a musician. I love music though. When you're up there performing, singing, wailing away on the bass or pounding away at the drums, and you see people singing your lyrics, screaming your lyrics, crying maybe, like
Somebody did cry.
yeah, what is that?
Sweet. Somebody did cry.
What does that feel like? 'Cause that's got to be
man.
so cool.
Overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know, because like I was that shy kid who used to play his keyboard in his room and didn't want to be bothered by anybody. I was very, you know, very shy about what I did. I didn't know if I was good or not. I was just expressing myself. And then, you know, fast forward years later, you see people reciting your lyrics, you see people crying, you see people wanting to hug you, people telling you that your songs touch them. It's just like, wow, I never saw this coming. Ever. You know, I just wanted to make music because I just love the sound of music, but I never thought it was going to affect people to this magnitude. And honestly, I'm super grateful to be able to give people something that they can go home with and just sit with and relate to, connect with, share with their people, and not feel alone at the same time. Because I feel like a lot of people in this world feel alone. And when you throw in that song that just hits you, it's like, oh my God, there's somebody that's just like me. Even though we might be from two different worlds, he gets me. So I think that's the true reward of doing this.
Wow, well said.
Yeah, and to go off of what he said with everything he does, it's refreshing to have someone in the hip hop scene to rap to talk about real life shit, not hoes and the drugs and this and that and all that stuff. And you're gonna get a song here and there from everyone about that stuff, but I mean, at the end of the show, and I hope that you remember what it was, because I'd like you to say it at some point during this, but he had a little 3-minute statement that he made about life, and it was like, man, like I got chills from it.
Yeah,
I got chills from
I'm getting chills now.
and it's just refreshing to have someone be like that nowadays, especially with their craft and what they're doing. I mean, there's just too much negativity, and people using their platforms to try and be someone they're not, try and play off like they're some hard gangster dude, or the clothing, the jewelry, the girls, whatever it is. I mean, it's getting outplayed. So it's refreshing to see someone like C Brown being successful.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people in Erie notice that and see that, and I think a lot of people feel the same way as me.
Totally. And see, I mean, I'll speak on behalf of like the way I was brought up, is there has always been a little bit of a negative stigma against hip hop because of the way, I grew up like sneaking MTV when my parents weren't home, like, so I could watch some of that hip hop music video, and my eyes were open to some crazy stuff, like, whoa, but there is kind of a negative stigma attached to some hip hop, certainly not all.
Right.
And it sounds like, based on, your music and the music I've heard that you've made, the videos I've watched, you're trying to alter that stigma a little bit and maybe push back with some more positive messages, relatable content. Talk about that. Like, is that kind of your mission and sort of like leading into your legacy?
I think now, because I'm starting to realize that this whole music thing is way bigger than me. Getting into it, I don't want to say I was selfish, but, I thought about myself more than everybody else. And now it's like, going through the motions in life, and you're seeing your peers hurting because they're going through things, and you're seeing your neighbors go through things, or whoever, coworkers, whoever, and you realize it's like, man, I just want to help. I want to teach them something, but I don't know what to say right now because maybe I haven't gone through enough. And I feel like I'm at a point now where it's like, okay, I've seen people connect with the songs, listen to them, compliment me on them. I need to give back. How do I give back? By turning the show into I hate to say it, but a ministry, so to speak. You gotta talk to the people. I know we were gonna get into it a little later, but like, I don't have my parents right now. They're both deceased. May they rest in peace. And that just opened my eyes. It's like I don't have anybody to really talk to me or teach me anything. I have an older brother and sister, but they're living their own lives, and I respect that. They respect me. We love each other, but it's like, who's going to speak to everybody else? Erie is in a place that is really dark. It has been this way for some time. It's starting to brighten up a little bit. But somebody needs to help these people, man, because people are going through depression and anxiety, poverty, relationship issues, job issues, financial, circumstances and whatnot. So it's like somebody needs to tell them, like, hey, you can change your situation. And between, my mother passing away, between me leaving my job a couple years ago, I just experienced some real growth and a transformation. And like, I'm a different person than who I was 4 or 5 years ago. Sometimes I don't even recognize myself with some of the things that I say. So that night, last weekend, it was like, this is the perfect time to like talk to the people and help them. While I got all these people in this room, I have to make sure they feel how I feel, and just be able to, believe in themselves and make sure that they, they leave their legacy too, and how important that is.
That's powerful. Yeah. And I think that's what we want to do, RJ, is we want to meet people that are using their platform to try to spread a positive message and influence people.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in hearing about someone that made a bunch of money, and I want to know how they're influencing people and how they're building into their legacy. So you talked about a little bit about your parents, you know, their influence on your life. What would you say, you know, what kind of legacy did they leave for your family, your brothers and your sisters, and how has that influence kind of where you're at right now?
My mother never gave up, and that's her testimony. You know what I mean? She was a hustler. That woman had 2 to 3 jobs. She'll have a full-time job and then 2 side jobs, and just kept it going. Even when she had her dark moments and was like, I can't win. The next day she got up and did whatever she had to do to be able to sustain her living and to be able to take care of her kids. And so that's the legacy and the mark that she left on me, because I kind of got away from that. You know, as a kid, you don't think about what your parents are doing or how impactful they are. You're a kid, you know, you're running the streets and, you know, you're dealing with girls and boys and you're at the park and, you know, you get into a lot of other trouble and things like that. But, you know, in hindsight, I realized that she taught me unknowingly how to just keep it moving, get it together. Like, if you want change, it's possible, because, you know, she did it. She made changes every day. She just kept it going. She had that momentum about her, you know, that willpower to, you know, to strive for better, or to just be able to maintain the life that she had. So, and I think that affected not only me, but my siblings as well. As far as my father, he served in the military. He died in 91, so I never really got to know him, but I think his impact on me was just, he was a soldier of life.
Wow.
You know, he had that confidence to go do something great, and he did it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they say, someone said the other day, you know, movement is growth.
Yeah.
And it really, I mean, because once you stop moving, you're not growing.
Right.
You know, if you want to be stagnant with your life and just, you know, I think I talked about last week or the other episode was, you know, if you're happy with your 9 to 5 and just doing that day to day, there's nothing wrong with that. But where's the growth in that? You know, you're not growing. You're not going out of your comfort zone. You know, so like he said, you know, with his mother, like she just never stopped going. I mean, look at what made him out, you know, or what made him, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Movement is definitely growth, and you know, I don't think I ever was able to meet your mother, but from the sounds of it, thanks, Mom, because you did something good here. You're doing some cool shit.
She did. Yeah. My mother she was just great, man. She was just a great person, and she loved life. She really did enjoy people. Like, she's like how I am, you know, she just gets people together for no reason and just embrace everyone with love. So I really admire that about her, and she left that on me as well. Cause I was always like, man, why am I always like wanting to be around people and do stuff and party and things like that? Cause I grew up very, very shy and introverted, but I'm like, man, I always got to have like friends get together and have a good time, and nobody has to bring anything over, just bring yourself. And I was like, man, my mother was the same exact way. You know, just come over for no reason, just to hang out, because she just appreciated people.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
awesome.
That's a really great characteristic to have, because we almost are turning into an introverted world because of all you really need is one of these mobile devices to feel connected all the time, you know? Like I have 10,000 friends on here. Yeah, but how many people are going to be at your front door when your mother passes away, or how many people are going to be there? There's still the human element that happens, like with what we're doing right now, or when you meet with somebody who's struggling with depression or struggling with a relationship breakup or something. There's still like the element of like authenticity and meeting people and being a quote unquote people person. Like that's so valuable, and it's awesome that your mom was, because obviously that's probably one of your strongest characteristics.
Yeah, man, because her funeral was packed. Like, it was like a Jay-Z concert. It was. I was like, did we sell tickets or something? Like, this is crazy. Like, I'm seeing like all of my childhood under just
that's
this
a great
one roof.
idea. I'm selling tickets for my pre-sale before I'm gone.
Start selling them now. You might as well. I mean, you never know.
Yeah, and it was dope because, you know, the theme, like my brother and sister and I, we all put it together ourselves, and the theme was like wear red and black or red and white, which is why I said, you know, wear that for my show last weekend, and a lot of people did. And, you know, shout out to everybody who did that, because it was very special. And I didn't want to do it like, oh, pity me, oh, mourn me because my mother passed. It was bigger than that. It wasn't even that. It was, let's honor life, you know, and let's honor the ones that we have lost, and let's honor moving forward. That's what these colors mean to me, you know. And plus, you know, red was my mother's favorite color, and it's mine, you know, obviously. So I just want to, and I want to continue to represent the importance of life, the importance of human interaction, the importance of self-growth, and doing more with yourself and seeing the potential that you have. Honor leaving a legacy for your kids or your nieces and nephews and show you that there's a better way.
Love it.
Yep. I think that I want to kind of take a break real quick, and I realized that a lot of these people that are listening, if they don't know who C is we didn't really touch base on everything that he's done. And I touched base on it last episode. I literally had to read off of a paper because I had to list everything out because I would have forgot it all. So now that we actually have him here, I mean, kind of let everyone know listening. I mean, let us know. I'm sure there's, some of the things you've done and you're known for, some of your biggest accomplishments.
Right.
Kind of go down that list with us.
Well, my biggest accomplishment is modeling for Iron Empire.
There we go. Okay.
You
okay.
achieved,
All right.
you achieved your legacy.
All right.
No, obviously though, it is an accomplishment. I will say that because, I never expected to really like be cool with him. Not that I didn't like him, but it's just like, he has so much going on. So like to be, in his circle is really cool and it's a blessing.
Appreciate that.
But I've won 12 awards. I put out multiple projects musically, played on some of the biggest stages here, 8 Great Tuesdays, Celebrate Erie, things of that nature. Whew, okay. I have a band. I've acted in movies. I've done voiceover work. I've done music score. I produced music for other artists. Modeled, of course. I mentioned that, and I'm pretty sure there's more to it, but like sometimes I have to read off a paper.
Yeah,
but
it's a good problem to have, man.
But yeah, some of my biggest accomplishments was like I opened up for people like Nappy Roots, Bubba Sparks, Ja Rule.
Nice.
Let's see here. I was mentioning the Atlantic magazine for the short film. This is Our Erie or Our Erie. I did the voiceover and some of the writing for that and got, national acclaim for that. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it. The first time I really had my eyes open to your talents was at the Erie Homecoming event about 4 months ago. I just got there. I was like running a little bit late. Big surprise. And I heard the woman on the stage say, we're opening up this 2-day, 3-day event where there's people from all over the country there, people with deep pockets too. Like, it was a big like investment push for people looking into maybe investing in some properties downtown Erie and the surrounding areas. And C. Brown's gonna do a performance. You had a guy with a cello or a violin up there?
Yeah, he had a cello.
Oh, wow.
Sick. It was sick.
Oh, wow.
I had the
would've loved that.
goosebumps. I had the feels. That was awesome, man.
It's 9:00 in the morning. Here I am with a guy in a cello.
I'm glad you say it like that because the thing with C is, and no offense to a lot of the other hip hop artists in the area, I'm friends with a lot of them. They do their thing. They're very good at it.
Yeah.
But there's not many of them, and I could be wrong maybe, but have been accepted like he has into this whole other world of positivity and these events and stuff like that. And he's kind of, going down a road that no one really has gone down, I feel like, in Erie with what you do. If you I don't know, it's just incredible to think about, how much you've been able to do in Erie with what you're able to do, especially your music. I don't know too many hip hop artists that would have been able to open something like that with a cello player and be successful with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just insane.
Yeah, I've done a lot of stuff like that, man. Just collaborating with different people. Like I even did something with the Erie Philharmonic, which was like so cool for the youth concerts. And like I'm a fan of what they do. So to be on that stage with that orchestra as a hip hop artist was just like Charles, what are you doing, dude?
Yeah.
You're reaching some new heights here in Erie, man. And that's what I want to do. I want to show my fellow hip hop heads that it is possible. You just have to be consistent and you have to love it. You have to love it. Like I love this stuff. Like, everybody has their addictions. A lot of people work out. A lot of people smoke weed. A lot of people drink. Some people have a sex addiction. Like, music is mine.
Did you see he was looking at me kind of?
No, I didn't mean I wasn't implying anything.
RJ just came from the meeting, so
I wasn't implying anything. No, but I realized that, man, I am truly addicted to music. If I didn't have this, I don't know what I would be doing or even if I would be here. Like I would probably go crazy. So the fact that I've done so much and I'm able to do so much, like right now I'm currently writing for the Erie Times and the Erie Reader. It's just like, man, like what else can I do? And I'm going to show people like you have the potential and the capabilities of doing so much in this one lifetime that you got. And I'm a pure example just here in Erie, PA. Like I'm doing so many things, I can't even keep up. So
That's amazing. What gets you most excited these days? Like you've got a lot going on. What gets you up in the morning and excited to go to work, as they say? You're working on a new album. What are some of the things that really are bringing you joy these days?
Oh man, the one thing that brings me the most joy is the fact that I have this newfound confidence that I never had before. I was, before I started speaking like this, I was very negative, very pessimistic, anger issues, depressed, all types of stuff. So like the fact that I feel this way now keeps me going, keeps me waking up in the morning like, okay, what else can I do? Because I did so much yesterday, but I know I could do more today. Okay, yesterday was good, but how can I make today great? And I know I can make today great because I made yesterday good. Mm-hmm. So it's just that belief in yourself that just that motivates me each and every day to get up. And the past too. The past has a lot to do with my motivation because I was in a couple dark places that I wasn't very happy about, wasn't very proud of, and it's like I'm never going back there. Like so, I'm trying to get as far away from where I used to be, just personally, spiritually, mentally, as far as I can. So,
let's hear what is a day in the life like for you. A Monday through Friday day, or a day that you have a show at night. Do you have another job out there? Where do you find the time to do everything you're doing? I mean, I have the clothing brand. I have stuff I do for Underdog. Now this podcast, I've got something else in the works right now. And I'm just like, okay, I need more days. I need more hours. I don't know what it is. And I'm going through a lot of shit right now. So it's like, I feel like my days are even smaller. But for someone like you who is all across the board, I mean, how do you do that? What is a day like for you?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, before I get into that, 24 hours to me, I don't know about everybody else, is a lot. It's a lot if you use it. It is. If you use it properly and you don't waste your day sitting in front of Hulu and Netflix, like you can get a lot done. Mm-hmm. So I realized that I utilize my 24 hours. The day in the life is like I wake up just like everybody else. I look at my phone. Mm-hmm. Why do I look at my phone? Because there's a lot of people trying to get a hold of me, a lot of new opportunities. Some people want me to do a show. Somebody wants me to act. Model. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's a lot of things that just happen, and a lot of it isn't planned. So this is like my business plan.
Lifeline.
It's my lifeline. It's everything as far as my quote unquote brand goes. So I check it, look at messages, look at emails. There might be a meeting that I have to go to. If there's absolutely nothing going on, then I create something. I don't like to be bored for too long. I don't want to sleep for too long. I get complacent and stagnant. So I look at things like that. Like if nobody hits me up, I'd be like, okay, I have all these gaps in the day. What can I do to fill them? What can I do that I didn't do yesterday? So I might just start creating music. I might write a song. I might start booking some shows myself. Whatever I didn't do, I just do the following day. And I just keep it going. And then once I started doing that, everything else just started coming out of nowhere. I don't even have to plan my day. My day is planned for me by just people reaching out. Mm-hmm. So that's how that happens. It's just the universe is working, man. Just people just blowing your phone up, and it's all good stuff too. Like, hey, I need you to come do this. I need you to do that. And if I got the time, I get dressed, I go. That's it.
Do you, just out of curiosity, are you a proponent of like this culture we've created about like the grind, the hustle, like the sleep for 3 hours a night? Like there's I believe there's a fine line between doing that and also finding
killing
balance.
Yourself, right?
Yeah, and it sounds like you're
taxing.
Like when I hear you say I fill gaps with stuff to do, so do I. But what is that fine line between overdoing it, but then also sitting back and getting complacent? And have you found it?
Yeah, I think I found it because I realized how important rest is. You have to recharge.
Yeah,
like I don't just go off no sleep. I've had days like that, but like it's not healthy.
Yeah.
It's not healthy at all. Like you have to, like we're like a battery. You got to recharge yourself. You need your rest. You need them 6 to 8 hours to just clear your mind, relax a little bit, sleep. You got to sleep. But yeah, I found that balance because like once I felt like I was killing myself, I was like, okay, if you kill yourself, then you can't keep going.
Right.
I can't do the things that I love to do and can do. So I definitely found that balance somewhere. I don't know when I found it, but I think I got a hold of it at this point. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I just keep going. I try to get enough sleep, but not too much sleep.
Sure.
If I have to sacrifice a couple hours of sleep, I'll do that. But I won't sacrifice 8 hours of sleep. You know, I'm not just going to be bugged out all day and zombified because I wasn't resting. You can't think clearly.
Yeah.
So yeah, you definitely got to find that balance, and it comes from experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What about you? You're a hustler. You're a grinder. Where's the balance for you?
Unlike him, I haven't found it yet. I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a big person off of, you know, I don't want to say I wing it day by day, but if I've got something going on in my life outside of the business, it affects me big time with it. But, you know, if I'm going through something, it's hard for me to go to my store and sit there and be focused. And sometimes I have those days where if something's going on, I know I'm not going to be any good at my store. I'm not going to be any good to my employees or the people that are trying to contact me. I'm not going to be out there. So I'll keep myself at home. You know, I'll sleep in a couple extra hours and then go in. You know, I'll wake up, sit in the bath for 45 minutes and just get my head right before I actually go in. And that's been happening a lot more lately, you know, with a lot of stuff going on. And it is hard to find that balance, that work and personal life balance. It's always been an issue for me. But I'm young, you know, you're young.
Yeah.
How old are you?
32.
32. Okay. Yeah. So you're about my age. So, you know, it's one of those things where I'll work now to, you know, hopefully not have to work as hard in the future.
Yeah. What do they say? Work like nobody now, so you don't have to work like anyone later or whatever.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Bust your tail now, so someday you're not busting your tail like
And that's
everyone
what
else.
and that's why I tell people I'd rather work hard now so I can just kick my feet up later
Yep.
on. You know, and I like what you said about being young. You know, I mean, I'm 32. I just turned 32 in January. And a lot of people are like, oh, man, you're getting up there. You're getting old. But I'm like, dude, I'm 32.
That
Like,
hasn't even started.
right. You know what I mean? Like, go tell that to somebody that's like 95 and they're getting
Yeah.
ready to kick the bucket. Like,
Right.
and some of those people are still jogging every morning at 6 o'clock, you know, in their 70s and 80s and whatnot. So it's like, don't talk to me about being old. You're old because you gave up.
That's it.
You old because once you hit 30, you got scared and was like, oh, the fun is over now. I guess I'll just relax and wait till I die.
It's all mental.
Right, it is. It's all mental. I turned 30. I threw a big party, a big house party, and started my legacy per se. You know, like while I still got it, I want to keep going. And not only that, I want to continue to feel younger. So like eventually, I want to get back into the gym and work on you know, my physique and just my health and just always feel young.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 32. I still feel like I'm 18.
Yep.
You know, not much has changed. It's really all mental.
It is.
You know.
Yeah, I get so tired of hearing that too. Like, oh man, like I have a son, and before I had my son, a lot of times people would be like, "Oh, what are you waiting for?" I'm like, "I'm 25. That's what I'm waiting for."
Yeah.
I'm 28. Well, you ain't getting any younger. I'm like, "Yeah, but come on."
What's
like,
what's the rush?
yeah, what's a rush? You know, and I'm a big fan of like different seasons of life, right? So I wanted, after I got married, I was like, "This is the season I'm in now. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna go out. We're gonna do fun stuff. You know, just be young." Now I'm in now I'm in dad mode. So like that's the season I'm in now, and it is what it is, but that still doesn't make me old. Like,
No.
you're not even, especially if you have a healthy, active lifestyle, like, you're not even you're maybe a quarter of the way through your life. Knock on wood. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's such a false presumption. Yeah. Like,
and I've never, I hear people give me excuses every day about something. And I don't have it. You know, I'll sit there and I'm not going to call them out on their bullshit, but I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, I get it. Oh yeah, you know, you got a job. But I mean, to get where I am today, to get where he's gotten to, even you, like, I've had my fair share of 4 a.m. wake ups, gym by 5 a.m., done by 7 a.m., to work 12 hours a day and do the same fucking thing the next day, the next day, the next day, for weeks straight. Yeah. And I thrive off of being busy. Yeah. I don't like to settle down. I don't like to sit around. I'm not like, all right, you know, I had a good day. I'm going to go sit at home and, you know, sit on my ass for 2 hours. Like, if I'm alone, I go crazy. Yeah. I go insane. I got to keep moving. Again, movement is growth. Movement is life.
It is.
And, you know, right now it's a slow time for a lot of businesses, but it's specifically ours with retail and stuff. So it's hard for me to go into the store while we're slow. You know, I'm focused on trying to, how can we get busier sooner? How can we be a little bit more busy now? But it's like once, you know, March, April hit and we're busy, I know I'm going to be 4 a.m., 3:30 a.m. till 12 o'clock at night. And I love it. Yeah. I thrive off of it.
I agree. And let's face it, like, I don't know, you said kicking your feet up someday and relaxing. Like, I don't know if that sounds so great to me. You know, I want to be able to relax, but I'm the same way. Like, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm going to have some type of job, purpose, motivation till the day I die. Like,
Well,
I'm,
I mean, I don't necessarily mean like, just sit back on a yacht somewhere and not do anything for the rest of your life.
but
what
that's
I'm
the
saying-
dream, isn't it?
Yeah,
That
that's the American dream,
like,
sort of. But I mean, I guess what I really want to say is I want to get to a point where I can do whatever I want and I
Yeah.
don't have to work as hard
Exactly.
anymore.
It gets easier.
It gets
Yeah,
a
it gets
lot
easier,
easier.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I want to travel. I want to do things. Like, I want the dream house. I want the dream car. But in order to obtain those things and that lifestyle, I have to work hard now. And a lot of people in this generation who are a little bit older than me and a little bit younger than me, they don't understand that. They're trying to just have all the fun in the world, and you should enjoy yourself. I'm a firm believer in enjoying yourself, but you got to do something constructive that's going to set you up later on in life to where you don't have to go through all this BS. You don't have to wait till you're 65 to retire or any of that. So that's the life that I'm pushing for.
Man, well, that's a perfect segue then to ask you, C, what we ask everybody. Well, you're actually the first one we've really asked because you're our first guest. But
Great.
what is the legacy you're trying to leave?
Take the floor.
Yeah. This is the biggest question we've asked the whole time. In fact, it's the name of our
All right.
podcast.
Create the life that you want. Don't be afraid to create the life that you want. I took a risk, and just like RJ here, I left my job in 2018, I believe. Full-time landscaper, was doing that whole thing from like 7 a.m. till whenever. There were some days I got home and it was dark, and I lost myself. I lost who I was. I had no identity at one point. I think I was like borderline crazy. I was like, yeah, I'm making money, I'm doing my thing, but I'm not happy here, and I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And I decided to walk, and I was scared the first couple of days of not having that job because I didn't know what I was going to do. It was my main income. And then I realized that, I hold the keys to my own life. I'm not going to let anything or anyone dictate my path or my destiny. Like, this is my life, and I can do whatever I want to do with it, meaning that I can create great opportunities for myself. And I started doing that, and it started working out of nowhere. And then the more that I worked, the more that life started working for me. So that's the legacy that I want to leave behind. Is just do what you feel is right. Do what you want to do. Don't be afraid to follow your dreams. As far as that goes, it sounds a little cliche, but I really do believe that you should wake up and think about all of the things that make you sad and get rid of it. Go forward. Be the best version of you and create the best version of your life that you can, because we only live once. Yeah. This is it. Yeah. You only, I hate to sound like, Eminem, but you really do only get one shot.
Yeah.
And once you let that sink in, it's like, man, I got to get up and do something. I got to leave a legacy for the next person. Stay busy, stay motivated, and follow your heart. Don't listen to people. Don't listen to people that's trying to deter you from what you feel on the inside. You got that dream burning, you got that fire burning in your heart, then you need to go follow it and go bring it to fruition. Why not? Why not? Who's going to stop you? And at the end of the day, no matter what path you take in life, people are going to judge you regardless. So you might as well do what you love to do and smile while you're doing it.
Nice. Well said.
Hell yeah.
I feel bad for any of the next guests we have or the next 100 episodes to top that one.
That is a solid legacy, my friend. I
was recording that little Instagram story, and I was, I'm missing this. I gotta put my phone down for a second.
Oh, that's all good.
I could use some motivation.
Well, luckily we're recording all this, so we will have this forever, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think I speak for RJ as well, man. We appreciate your time a ton.
I appreciate you guys.
For sure. I mean, everyone here appreciates you. Everything you do. Keep being you. Keep pushing forward. Like you said, movement is growth.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see, you talk about, it's an honor to work with me. I mean, to be able to have you be involved with stuff I do and do things like this. I mean, I can only do so much with the clothing brand and myself and everything you're doing. I mean, you're getting there. You're leaving that legacy for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
You are.
And I'm having fun while I'm doing it.
I couldn't think of a better first guest to have on the show. Seriously, this was awesome. Great conversation. I enjoyed the opportunity to get to know more about what you're doing. How can people learn more about you, following you and all that stuff? Where can they catch up with what you're doing?
You can contact my website, which is cbrown.com, ceebrown.com. My Instagram is cbrownpa. My Facebook is cbrown814. My email is charlesbrowncj@gmail.com. Yeah, get a hold of me. I talk. I hang out.
Some way they can find you. Listen to
know?
your music, right? They can
Yeah, all of that.
Cool. They
And
can
this
get you-
weekend, right? You have well, this isn't going to air before this weekend, but what do you got coming up in the future if someone wants to come see you within a couple weeks?
Oh man, check out the website. See the show listings.
Okay. Good enough. There we go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I don't know when this is going to air, so I don't want to be like, hey, come out and then
Not soon enough.
But you're always busy, so you always got stuff
Yeah.
going
So that's
on,
why I tell people, hit me up on social media. Check out the website. I'm always updating what I'm doing and what I'm about to do. So just get a hold of me.
Cool. Well, we will do that.
That's rap. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're a first-time listener to the podcast, make sure you leave us a review. Shoot us an email, info@leaveyourlegacypodcast.com. We want to know who people want to hear
Who's
on the
next?
show.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. What kind
if you
of
have
people?
suggestions or if you personally you think you have a story to be told and want to see if you can get on here, we'd love to have everyone.
Yeah.
All walks of life.
Let's do it. Awesome. Well, we appreciate your time today, C. We appreciate everyone who listened to today's podcast. We'll catch up with you next time.